Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Courtney Burks, and I want to thank y'all so much for coming to my channel. It is a little bit different scenery today. My camera actually died, and I wanted to try my best to be consistent, so I'm shooting on my phone, so just bear with me. I got a lot of feedback from last week's video, and I'm really happy to all those who emailed me, and I believe I got a couple of DMs. I have to remember on which social media platforms, and I just really appreciate the feedback. So today I wanted to talk about let me see, I have it writing down my notes to make sure I always stay on topic. Within my relationship, this series, for those of you who don't know, I am now single, like official single. Um, and it's a hard transition because the person that I was with, I basically thought that I was going to marry that person. We're going to start life together. We had very in-depth conversations, and so life happens, things change, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not a terrible person. This is not videos from me bashing him. It's just reflecting on the things that did happen both on my part and his, so in future reference I won't be in these predicaments, if that makes any sense. So just being more intentional, and in this season also I'm just learning to love myself all over again, um, and staying true to myself. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into the video. So the first thing I want to talk about are like desires. Oops. One thing I noticed as we kind of got through the first stage where you want to talk to each other all day, and um, there's not very much in between time, if that makes any sense. Where all you want to do is just be around each other. I realized that after that was over, our desires were completely different. Our work ethics were completely different. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. But from looking back on it, I should have slowed things down, took control, because it is my life and it's something important. But we didn't want the same things. We really didn't. And even if you're in a relationship now, or you're just now getting out of it, whatever season you're in, even not just romantic relationships, your friendships, any relationship you have to reflect and make sure y'all are both on the same page about a lot of different things. For instance, the success level that I want to achieve is very high, and not meaning, on like YouTube or in life. I want to hit Forbes list. You know what I'm saying? Be I'm changing the dynamics of my family. And that's all I will say about that, because I don't want to, speak prematurely about it. But he was very comfortable where he was at and what he was doing, and kind of didn't have the same hunger that I had. And that's okay. That is okay. That's not a negative thing. That's just us wanting two different things. So looking back on it, I think to myself, we would have been better off as friends. But, of course, you like somebody, you like them, and then you start doing stuff. So we end up being in a relationship, and all the relationship wasn't bad. It was parts where we definitely encouraged each other, but it was only to a certain extent. And so as I'm learning to love myself all over again, I think about, what do I really want, and what am I not willing to compromise? I'm not willing to negotiate, and my value is one of those things. My value is definitely my desire for myself, my desire to serve God, my desire to have friendships that are godly, to surround myself with good people and not be secluded and not desert myself. Those are the things that I'm not willing to sacrifice, and I definitely sacrificed those when I was in a relationship. The next thing I want to talk about is your surroundings. Oh, this is so powerful. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in this. I'm definitely not, but I read my Bible. I go to a church in Metairie, New Orleans, called Celebration Church, and I love it. Oh my gosh. We have these things called life groups, and we meet on specific days, and they're led by a trained leader, and we discuss life and how it corresponds with the message from, I believe now we go to church on Thursdays. So within me being in a relationship, I remember one specific incident where he was coming down here because he lived in another state, and I was a life group, and it was the only time I had to just worship and give God and fellowship with other women because of how much I work in school and stuff. And he blew up my phone. He blew up my phone while I wasn't doing anything wrong. He knew I was there, but he was here and he wanted me to drop everything to come to where, or to come to my apartment, my other apartment. Again, that doesn't make him a horrible person, but I was literally worshiping God and he didn't value that. And it's important, now that I look back on it, to have good sounding voices in you. So I meet with them weekly, even sometimes hang out with them outside of church, get to know them, hear their struggles, hear the things that's going good in their life, laugh, fellowship with people who have like-minded, because they help you accomplish your goals. Like me giving myself back to God, that was really, really inspired by these women. They're very powerful, and hearing how they accomplish the things that they have, it just gives me encouragement. It gives me encouragement to live for God even stronger, to go hard, even when I don't want to, even when I don't feel like it, to work out, to eat better. You are birds of a feather flock together. That saying is so powerful, and it's the same thing when you're in a relationship. We really didn't have like couples that we were friends with or people even in church that we could fellowship with. And to be honest with you, he didn't want to. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But those were, again, my desires. That's something that people I wanted to surround myself with. So as you can see, a continual theme of it was I was compromising the things I loved, the things I like to do for the relationship. And it wasn't worth it. Those sacrifices weren't worth it. And like I saw this video, it was discussing how like basically we're like in our 20s. I don't have any kids. I'm about to have my first degree. Those aren't sacrifices I need to be making in the first place anyway. That's my personal opinion. If anybody chooses to make those sacrifices, hey, be my guest. But I don't need to make those sacrifices because I'm still figuring out who I am and what I like and what I don't like, if that makes any sense. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about is your eyes and ears. Be mindful of the things you're listening to, especially if you're trying to wait. You're giving yourself back to God. It's hard to listen to R&B and soul after 7 p.m. when they talking real low and, you know, talking about seems like you're ready. Seems like you're ready. No. Ready for what? What they getting ready for? Like, seriously, you have to be mindful of the things that you watch. The other day I was watching Dear White People, and there's a couple of sex scenes, and I had to turn it off because it gave me ideas, and it made me want to, not ideas as in, meaning it makes you want to, it influences you, excuse me, to go back down that path. And I know that a lot of us are trying to basically do it right, and it's hard, it's a struggle, but you have to be mindful. Like, again, back to the surroundings. If you're hanging around your friends, we all have different groups of friends, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that core group has to support what you're trying to do, whether it is saving yourself for marriage, whether it is building a career. Everything, all those things matter. And so for me personally, I had to, you know, I have to be mindful of what I listen to. I don't listen to a lot of rap anymore. I don't watch everything. I haven't watched Insecure. I haven't watched Powered because I know that those scenes kind of, they don't glorify it, but they're there, and I'm too vulnerable and I'm not strong enough yet. So until you build up that strength to watch those things and hear those things, then I would say something that I'm taking on the challenge of is being guarding my heart, guarding my eyes, guarding my ears, being focused on what I want out of, or not what I want, but being intentional about what I'm watching, because it does make a difference. Ooh, it makes a difference. So those are the three things that are crazy because I forgot to give my biblical encouragement, because this is the reason why I'm doing the series. So, I found a Bible verse, or I was reading my devotional the other day, and I completely forgot what verse it was. I highlighted it and I searched, but if I don't find it for this video, I'll make sure to include it in next week's video. So in essence, I found this verse and it hit home as well. So it was Ecclesiastes 4:12. This is the Message. I like to read different versions of the Bible just to kind of get different clarification. So it says, by yourself you are unprotected. With a friend you can face the worst. As I said before, your surroundings are very important, whether you're in a relationship or not in a relationship. Birds of a feather flock together. It's just important, and the reality of it is I secluded myself from church, from my friends, from the people who knew me and from the people who loved me, and I was unprotected. I was unprotected. And I even kind of, at one point, sorry for getting so close, I even neglected God. And He forgave me. I asked for forgiveness. But as I read that, I want to encourage you all. I see the difference from whenever I included people and I thanked them for being there and trusted them, and compared to whenever I thought that I had to take on everything by myself. So I hope that encourages you. I hope you are having a great week. And I'm going to see y'all next Tuesday. Also, last thing, I promise. All those people asking me about the body fix, I'm getting those videos together because I want to be able to produce them in a manner where it's you'll be getting 2 videos a week, but that takes time, and I'm also in school and I work part-time, which is kind of like full-time. So just continue to bear with me. If you have any questions, you can at Courtney Burks on Instagram. I always post updates in my Insta stories, but I'm going to get on here. I just have to have the right equipment, have the right content, and I want to give you all what I'm eating, being consistent, the type of workouts I'm doing, and even like how I'm sleeping, how I'm taking care of my body outside of just trying to lose weight. So don't think I'm neglecting you. I'm just trying to prepare everything. So, it's lit. You see what I'm saying? Like, we're not putting no lazy content out. All right. I hope this encourages y'all. I hope y'all are having a great week, and I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Bye.